It's a brother up north better than Bonds. He ain't get that break. Welcome back to the Break Podcast. Here on this podcast, we acknowledge all-star athletes. Today's no different. We got my man, T. Roy. Roy, was good.
What's up, my guy?
Chilling, brother. I'm chilling. Can you tell the people your name? Where you from and what high school you went to?
Yeah, Tommy Roy. I went to Tracy High with this guy right here, um, from Tracy, California.
That's right. That's right. Say no
I
more.
don't.
Listen, Roy, we know you play all three sports. We know you do football. We know you do basketball. But today we're gonna focus on baseball today. Listen,
That's
look,
what's up.
we're gonna bring you back for like some other episodes. We're gonna talk about the other sports, but we're gonna focus on baseball today, okay? So
hmm
when did you pick up a ball, a baseball? When did you
That
pick it up? At what age?
that was probably the first sport I ever played. So I would say I was like 5, 6 years old. Me and pops, kind of started throwing the ball around a little bit, and you know how pops is. So there was really no choice. It was like pick up a ball and figure it out.
Yeah. Now, did Pops play coming up or?
Yeah, yeah, and he played all three sports also. But baseball was definitely the one that he gravitated to most. And when I was young, I remember going to like, he would play like competitive softball,
Okay.
and I think kind of like the exposure to that is what really kind of made me gravitate towards that early on.
Okay. So you said it was Pops that made you get out there, made you want to continue doing it. Do you remember getting on your first team?
Yeah, I do actually. My pops was coaching. He coached me probably like maybe the first 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
already know
yeah.
what time you know how that goes. But
Of course.
anyways, I remember playing t-ball, little league.
Yeah.
I remember pretty specifically we were the Phillies. Um, I always wanted to kind of play shortstop. I always kind of felt like that was a good spot for me. I
Yeah.
was pretty athletic, and had a pretty decent arm and all that stuff. So yeah, I remember playing t-ball, little league over there for the Phillies.
Okay. Well, you said you played shortstop. Is that your was that your position you stayed with, or was it did you bounce around from different positions, or did you stick
I
with
pretty
that?
much No, I pretty much stayed there for the majority of my career. I did play on some travel ball teams where there were some guys who were, I'll be honest, they were better than me at shortstop. So I moved over to like third.
Yeah.
But I typically stayed on that side of the infield. I just kind of found that like when I went to the other side between second base and first base, that all the angles change. It changes. It's completely different. And so, not that I couldn't do it, I felt more comfortable on the other side.
Okay. What did you play? I have to know. Did you play little league or did you play Babe Ruth?
Nah, I was a little league guy. I already know what you're about to ask me right now, and those boys didn't want no smoke.
Period. It's like that.
I
It's
mean, I'm not even trying to. They had a really good team over there, but
yeah.
I personally just kind of feel like, I mean, just pitching alone. I mean, it was pretty deep, bro. Like, I mean, between like James Villarreal, KJ Childs, we had Chris Smith, me, John Valdez. I mean, and it goes on and on. Jeremy Penn.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some ballers. They did too. That's not
Yeah.
to take anything away from them. I just kind of feel like this debate's been going on for years, but we just kind of feel like, and you shouldn't expect me to say anything less, right?
That's a fact. That's a fact. What playing baseball? What make one go little league or go Babe Ruth? What ma-
Um,
is it
I don't
choice?
really know. Yeah, I mean, at the time, I think both leagues were really competitive, so I don't think you could go wrong. I think for my dad, I think it was like proximity to the fields and stuff like that, probably more so than anything.
Okay.
It's a lot different nowadays. Now my son's kind of coming up through the ranks over there, and I gotta say, unfortunately, Little League has kind of fell off as far
Really?
as in our area at least.
Okay.
And as far as Babe Ruth's definitely, in my opinion, more competitive. And so over the next few years, I'm either gonna kind of see what happens or transition him out. But I don't know if it's the times or what, but it's definitely a lot different for sure.
Okay. You said you played on some travel ball teams. Do you remember any good your favorite team?
Um, I'll probably say it was like we were either in high school or just like graduated, but I got to play on a travel ball team with a bunch of my friends from West High.
Yeah.
Never really got to play with those guys before.
Yeah.
Um, so I got to play with like John Valdez, Andrew Trethaway, all those guys. And Memo was obviously on our team. I'd never been on a team with Mo before, so that was hella fun. Like, I mean, that dude, you already know how that goes. But it was fun, man. Because like I said, I played against all those guys for so many years. It was kind of cool to be able to hop on a team with them and travel around and play.
Yeah. Listen, Mo always put to me that he was the Gambino, the Salt and the SWAT, that guy. Like he could do everything. Somebody that played with him and watched him play. How good was Mo?
Listen, bro. I mean, you know how Mo was, bro. Like
Of
he
course,
he
of
would talk
course.
shit. He would talk shit about football, baseball, basketball, all that shit. Really, the one that he could really, really, really back up. He could back himself up in all of them. Don't get me wrong,
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
but on the but on the baseball field, bro. I mean, that dude is ridiculously talented. Um, I mean, like I think I watched one of your podcasts, and I think John Valdez was talking about him, and I think John kind of summed it up perfectly. Like, bro, you're not gonna meet like a more complete hitter at that age. I mean, this dude was. I remember he was on a team with a little league team with. He was playing with Fred Bobbitt and Michael Bobbitt, and there was a couple other guys that Ryan Carroll was on that team. But I just
Yeah.
remember going to their games, bro. And it seemed like every game I went to, this dude Mo was hitting a home run. Every single game I went to for probably like 10 games straight, bro. Like he
Yeah.
was he was he was legit like carrying that team. I mean, they were really good. It's probably not fair for me to say he was carrying them, but at times, bro, I mean, my boy was out there just going yard. Like it was ridiculous. I'm talking about like, bro, they would try to pitch around him and throw pitches over his head, and my guy would smoke it like 50 feet over the fence. Like,
Easy.
I mean, it was like, damn, this dude, if he could have kept his shit together and made grades, bro, we might, it might have been a completely different story.
Really.
Yeah.
So you go to Tracy, and some of the guys go to West. What was your best year at Tracy playing against West?
In baseball, definitely. I mean, I'll be honest. Like they had a really good team. They were a lot deeper than we were. I can tell you that.
Right.
Um, I would probably say my sophomore year was probably all around. Aside from basketball, which you already know that story. I don't need to tell you that.
Right.
But
Right.
between football and baseball, our sophomore year, that was probably the best year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just our team was really good. We had a really good coach. That stuff matters. It's like I don't have to tell you this. You know what I mean? If you don't know how to use your players, like
No.
none of that. It don't matter. It don't matter how good you are, right? Like none of that shit
Absolutely.
matters. So,
Absolutely.
um, I would say that's probably the best coach that I've ever had was Ken Perez. Rest in peace. He passed away, but that dude. I mean, he was the kind of guy that, like, bro, he make you want to run through a brick wall for him.
Right.
So it was like,
Yeah.
if I didn't have to argue calls or anything like that because this dude was already on the field screaming at the umpire. So it was like, when you got guys like that, you're definitely gonna excel.
Do you remember some guys that was on this team with you your sophomore year? You don't got to name the whole team, but if you remember a few that stick out
Yeah,
in your mind.
Robbie Ortega for sure, like one of the
Wow.
best catchers, if not the best catcher I've ever pitched to.
Okay.
My guy's a wall back there.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if you remember Grant Byers' little brother Cole Byer. He was a freshman, but he got moved up to JV and played with us. That kid was a really good ball player.
Yeah.
Um, Same thing, another young kid, Eric Castro, got moved
Absolutely.
up. Really good ball player.
Yeah.
Zach Reese, Brett Hicks. Um, I mean, we had a pretty good squad, man. It
Yeah.
was pretty legit.
best best picture you ever seen in Tracy that you ever
Oof.
that you ever
Ooh.
watched, taking yourself out of it,
Nobody I ever faced, right? Like I could just watch them.
that you just watched. You didn't have to face them.
So I gotta say two, bro. I gotta say two because I can't really separate them. Like I don't know how to separate them.
Please.
I'll definitely say Romeo Newman was up there. Just that dude was pumping gas, bro. Like I
Different.
mean, he threw really really hard, and he was tall. You know that's intimidating when you're standing on the mountain. You're tall like that. I mean
It's a fact.
that's hard. You know, you step in that box, you're questioning things. Um, and then I'll probably say Matt Eichels, bro. Like, I mean, another Tracy High guy. You know what I mean? But he was
Le-
a senior when we were freshmen. But you know, we watched him hoop. But
Legend.
he was a baller on the court. But then when he got out on the baseball field, he was even better, bro. Like, I mean,
How,
dude threw really really hard.
how fast you think Icos through?
I mean, he was a big dude. So I would say he could probably cruise like low 90s. Same with Romeo.
Yeah.
I mean, if they really reach back, they could probably hit like mid 90s.
Okay.
Which you know, at that time, you know, times are different now. All these kids in the major leagues are pumping 95 plus, close to 100. But you know, back then, if you threw that hard, bro, you were doing something. So,
Toughest toughest matchup you ever seen with pitcher and hitter that you ever watched?
um,
You like, oh, he's a great hitter. He's a great pitcher. They finally meet up. You kind of, you trying to see, you about to see what's about to happen.
I would say probably when we were either sophomores or juniors. I don't remember exactly, but um, I remember Ernie Lopez pitching to a kid, Coleman Paiva, and bro, Coleman was the truth. Ernie was the truth though too. You
Oh,
know, they were both
oh
really good
man.
baseball
Oh,
players.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But Coleman's not the biggest dude. You know what I mean? I mean, I
Right.
don't think I'm
Just,
disrespecting him by saying that. He would agree with that. You know,
he's just a
and
freak athlete.
right. And
Yeah,
I remember the game was at West High, and I'm standing on the first base side, kind of just watching. Like you said, you know, it's one of those matchups. Like I got to pay attention.
yeah.
And I don't really remember like the count or anything like that, but I just remember Ernie throwing a fastball, and this dude Coleman must have hit this ball 100 feet over the left field fence, bro. Like into West High has these houses behind their fence back there, and then they're pretty far away.
Yeah.
And bro, he probably hit this ball like 100 feet over the fence, no joke. Like it was a no brainer. Like right when he made contact, it was like everybody that was there knew it was gone.
Crushed it.
And I mean, I've never seen a ball hit. I mean, I've seen a lot of balls hit really hard, but I've never seen a ball hit like that by a high school kid before.
Period.
I mean, it was. I mean, you talk about like this dude just pissed on this ball. Like it was like, damn.
Yeah. Say no more. Say no.
Yeah, it was. I was like, I don't even know. I didn't even know what to say. It was like, I think he was like a 3 run home run or something like that, and it got quiet over on the Tracy High side real fast.
Yeah. Listen, Ernie was that guy to hit. You know what I'm saying? Ernie was.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah.
Tough. Toughest pitcher you ever faced.
Um, that one's tough too.
You can say a few, if that pop in your head, even if it was in practice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say definitely James Villarreal.
James.
I mean,
Yeah.
my guy threw really hard, but on top of that, you know, he had really good control over all his pitches. And
Yeah.
so, I think the biggest thing that's important when you're pitching, and I think this kind of gets lost, is your ability to kind of disguise your pitches, right? Your goal is to try to make your arm motion look almost exactly the same every time, so you're keeping the hitters off balance. They're guessing because if you start
Right.
trying to change your arm angles and stuff like that, they can kind of predict what you're throwing.
Right.
And so that's one thing James was really good at was like, you know, he would kind of rear back and you didn't really know what was coming. And so it's like, you know, already as a hitter, you're up there kind of playing a guessing game as it is. But when the arm motions look the same, it's damn near impossible to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Um, and so I would say definitely him. Bobby Allen from West High was really tough to face.
Yeah.
The thing about him was he threw really damn hard, but at times he could be very wild too, right? And so people are going to sit there and act like they're tough and they're not, a little bit nervous in the box, but you'd be stupid not to be nervous in the box with somebody throwing that hard. You know what I mean? So that's
Right,
just
right, right.
that's not to say you're scared, but you just have respect for the guy that's out there throwing, and you know that if this goes wrong, you better be ready to get your ass out of the way, or at least not get hit in the head, right? Um, that's what made it tough to hit against him. So it was like, you're kind of if he throws you a fastball over the plate, you better be ready to swing because you might not see another one over the plate. And so that was one of those things.
I wanted to play baseball. That was the thing that when I used to see, like, I saw KJI one time, I saw Tyler REI, and it was, and then I had a good friend, Jared Lemos, that used to pitch, and it was like, yeah, if I get mad, I'll just hit him, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
What do you
that's
mean?
real, Gam. That's
That's
real,
real?
Gam. That's real, bro. Because there were times, I'm not gonna lie to you. There was times where I would face certain people, or I'll put it to you like this: there were certain times we played baseball, bro, and I would recognize people from the hoop court that we were playing against. So I'm just like, man, fuck this dude. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
smack,
you like that?
smack. I mean, I ain't trying to hurt him or
Yeah,
nothing.
of
I'm not
course,
gonna
of
try to hit him
course.
in the head, but I'm gonna smoke him maybe in the hip or the thigh or something
Yeah,
like that. So Jared yeah, and Jared was nice, bro. I mean,
yeah,
Jared was a good ball player. It's funny though, you mentioned KJ, so I wanted
yeah.
to tell you this real quick. So, to be completely honest with you, like I credit his dad for really teaching me how to pitch.
Yeah,
His dad was a semi-pro baseball player, and
yeah,
I got lucky enough to end up on the same team as KJ at a really young age, and became really good friends. And so after baseball practice, I'll go over to his house and hang out. Well, his dad had a pitching mound in the backyard, so he would put the gear on, or I would put the gear on, and we would just switch off, just practicing pitching. But I mean, his dad taught me how to do everything when it
yeah.
pertained to pitching. Um, I mean, literally everything. How to throw every pitch I knew how to throw, how to kind of dial everything in. So I really credit what I was able to do to him.
Okay.
Um, it's been a long time since I've seen that dude, but I mean, he's legit.
Yeah, he's the truth, huh?
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, and KJ was a really good ball player too. He left Tracy. He went and played at St. Mary's. I don't really know, kind of what happened after that, but that's another guy that we had that I didn't even mention earlier as far as
Yeah,
pitching. Like he might have been the best one at that age, to be honest with you. That dude was unhittable.
yeah. What
So,
your favorite? What was your best pitch?
um, I would
You.
probably say for a right-handed guy, it's not real common for right-handers to have like a really good curveball, like
Yeah,
a big sweeping curveball. Typically, you're going to see that out of like more left-handed guys. But for whatever reason, and again back to KJ's dad, he just kind of taught me how to spin it really good. And so
yeah,
I would say my curveball because I could use it for multiple things. I can throw it for a strike early in the count, or if I get you down 0-2 or behind in the count, I can throw it in the dirt, but it comes in looking like it's right over the plate. And I
yeah,
mean, that's the kind of pitch that makes hitters look stupid. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We had a scenario in high school one time. I remember it was 0-2. I had this kid 0-2, and I threw him a big sweeping curveball, and he fell out of the box because he thought it was going to hit him, and it ended up being called strike three. Like, I mean, you can't make somebody look more stupid on the baseball field than that, bro. It's like nutmegging somebody on a hoop court.
got you, got you. Say no more.
So
Fastest pitch you ever threw, or the fastest you ever threw?
I wasn't ever like I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like, I was kind of skinny back then, and
Yeah,
I couldn't get over like 175, 180 pounds. But I could cruise like low 80s. Like, I never really threw that hard. I'll be honest. Like the good part of my game was, and I'm not comparing myself to him by any means. I'm just giving you kind of like a comparison. I try to take more of like a Greg Maddux approach, where I can just kind of like I'm gonna try to hit locations
yeah.
versus trying to overpower you or any of those kinds of things. And so I was more, I'll cruise like low 80s, but I'll sit here and paint corners all day. I would say my accuracy was more of my asset versus how hard I could throw.
Got you. Most memorable game to you, or a couple?
No, yeah. So I definitely have one that pops out to me. So when we were, like I said, back to that sophomore year thing, the two best teams in the league were always Tokay from Lodi and St. Mary's from
There.
Stockton.
Yeah.
Now you always heard about them. Same thing in hoop, right? We always
Of
used to
course.
hear about those guys, even
Of
though
course.
that's a whole nother
Of course.
story. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
anyways, when we got on the baseball field, I remember specifically, we were at Tokay early in the week. It was a Wednesday, and it was really overcast, and so we kind of knew it was going to rain eventually. But they started the game anyways, and the game started, and they were jawing a lot. They were talking a lot of shit, but whatever. So I ended up striking out like the first five hitters of the game. And
Oh,
then all of a sudden, it just starts dumping rain on us. Like, so long story short, they end up calling the game. And so we go back. We're supposed to play. The way it was situated back then was you would play either home or away on Wednesday, and then you'd play the same team on Friday, but it would flip flop. So if we were home, we were away, and that, and so on and so forth.
got you.
So we end up going home Friday, and because the game only lasted like not even 2 innings, my coach was like, "Hey, you want to pitch again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I absolutely want to pitch again." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Of
um, that's one thing, is I was always hella competitive. So I was like, these guys are talking
course.
shit. Absolutely, I want to
Of
pitch.
course.
You
It's
know what I
up.
mean? So,
It's up. Let's do it.
and yeah, let's do it.
Let's
So
do it.
I start warming up, and I mean, man, they really start talking shit. I was number 11. They're in the dugout. Oh yeah, we love 11. We this and this and that. It's like, okay, you're about to find out right now.
Yeah.
So, anyways, long story short, they were the best team in the league. They really were. They were really good. So that was probably the best game I've ever pitched in my entire life. So complete game shutout. They didn't score one run. They only got 3 hits, two
Really.
base runners, two base runners the whole time, and both of them reached on errors.
Good.
I'll never forget, to end the game, there's a runner on first and second, 2 outs, last inning, and we're up. I want to say we were up. It was 1-0. And I'll never forget. I threw an inside fastball to like their 3 or 4 hitter. I don't remember exactly who it was, but he was good. And he turns and he hits this ball down the line foul, and I'm like, damn, I can't make that mistake again. Like, he hit
Yeah.
it hard. Like, if it was fair, they win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I can't make that mistake again. Sure enough, my dumb ass comes back with the same pitch, bro. I make the same mistake, and he hits this ball hella hard to third base, and I'll never forget. Zach Reese made one of the best catches I've ever seen in my life. Like, dude, like full extension to his right and snags it out of the air, bro, and it was game over. But if
Easy.
Zach's not there, like, we lose. It was
Plain and
crazy.
simple.
It
Uh.
was crazy, bro.
Okay. Can you give me a score that you just knew you had to be in your bag when you played them? They were always good. We know
Yeah.
St. Mary's, we know Tokay, obviously. Is there anybody else that's on your list where you like, yeah, they were good. I had to be on my bag every time I played them.
I mean, on top of the two you already said, those two for sure. You
Yeah.
got to be on your game no matter what when you play them. But I mean, I gotta be honest. Like, those dudes over at West High were no joke.
Period.
Um, 1 through 9, bro. Like, they had hitters over there. Like, that's just what it was. And sometimes I think there's like a psychological effect to that too, right? Because I know a lot of these dudes, and I've played baseball with a lot of these dudes. So sometimes maybe part of that was me overthinking it,
Yeah.
but it was just always tough. You know what I mean? No matter what, like, I'm a pretty honest dude. Like, John Valdez is one of my best friends, and bro, from Pee Wee all the way, like, Little League all the way up to high school, like, bro, I could not get this motherfucker out, like, to save my life. Like, my
Yeah.
guy just has my guy just has my number.
I got
Like,
your number.
he just does, bro. Like, I remember in Little League, pitching to him, and this dude one hopped the fence on me, and then in high school, he got a couple hits off me. I just couldn't get my guy out. Like, that's
Period.
just all there is to it. And so I don't know if maybe it's familiarity or what, but I would definitely say West, bro. They had a good squad.
Okay. All right. Two players you love to play with.
Oh man, um,
Maybe more. I don't know.
James Villarreal for sure. That's like one of my best friends, and so um, just always fun. You know what I mean? It's,
What's
it's
fun?
fun to be on the same team. It's fun to be on the same team as him versus being against him. Because same
Yeah.
thing, bro.
Yeah.
If I can name two people that I can't get out, it's John and James Villarreal, bro. Like, I just cannot get these dudes out. And of course, these motherfuckers are my best friends, so I got to hear about this shit for the
Of
rest of
course.
my fucking life. You
Of
know what I mean?
course.
So it's like,
Absolutely.
but it's all good. But I would say, definitely love being on the same team as James. Um, Robbie Ortega, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's family. So
Shout out
he's
Rob.
definitely fun to be on the same team as him. Um, so I would say those two for sure. You know, that shit was fun. And then obviously like on that travel ball team, like with Mo and
Yeah,
bro, the shit was just fun, man. Like it was a lot of fun.
I'm already knowing. Can you give me two
Yeah.
players that you probably played against, but you never got a chance to play with them, and you like if your game was with them, it's like, oh, we would have been dope. It could have been from another school.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say shit, probably the two guys I mentioned earlier, you know, definitely Coleman, Paiva.
Yeah,
I mean, I played against him in little league a lot and all that kind of stuff, but you know, and his little brother too, Devin Paiva was a really good baseball player too. Those
yeah,
boys could just play baseball. It's just what it was, you know.
yeah.
Um, for another person, I would probably say Jared Lemos, bro. Like I never got to play
Lee,
with Lee on the same team. Like
Lee.
you know, and him and I, you know, this, you know, back to like the Williams middle school days, like him and I were always kind of getting faced up against each other for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Whether it was on the hoop court or, you know, baseball, whatever. It was just one of those things where we would just always run into each other, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I never got to be on his team. So I always thought, you know,
Do
that would
you
have been kind of fun.
do you have a memorable game of about Lee? Because I always hear about Lee pitching. You know what I'm saying? But I never really I never really watched any games of Lee getting down pitching. But I hear you was cold with it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, nothing in particular as far as games, but what I'll tell you about Jared was when we were growing up, Jared threw really hard.
Yeah,
And you know, back to the curveball thing that I talked about, you know, it's not typical for right-handers, but I would say he's another right-handed guy who definitely can spin it. Like, I mean, he could definitely do that. And when he's the type of person like when he's on,
he's on fire.
and you know, it's really hard to hit against him. And so I never personally got to face him, like you know, hitting or whatnot. But I can see how it would have definitely been a challenge for sure.
Okay, say no more. Listen, this part of the segment, man, is no right or wrong answer. It's just your opinion. Um, I just want to know what you think.
All right,
All right. Listen, who's batting who's batting fourth if you were the coach in your lineup and you need all three runs to come in? Who's batting fourth? You got Bonds, Mark McGuire, Babe Ruth, or Griffey?
Jesus, that's a horrible question because I would say all four of them. No, I'm just playing. Um, as much as I hate to admit it, because I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I fucking hate the Giants, but bro, Barry Bonds is like to me like I can't see anybody better in that position. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see how you could say anybody else. And if you really need the bases cleared, you know, any of those guys are more than capable. Don't get me wrong,
Absolutely, of
but
course.
that's definitely who I'm calling on. And my biggest thing is, I'll just kind of tell you this: like, I hate it when people talk about all the steroid shit because here's the thing, bro. Like, I don't give a damn if you're on steroids or not.
Yeah,
Going up there and hitting 100-mile-an-hour fastball, being on steroids is not going to help you do that shit.
right,
It might make the ball go further, but it's definitely not going to help you catch up to it or anything like that.
right.
So, you know, I'm just not big on when people talk that nonsense. You know, it's like I don't give a shit. You know what he was taking. That dude can hit.
He's a
Period.
baller. Period.
Straight up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, since you play all sports, I'm gonna ask you, who's the better two-way player, Deion Sanders or Bo Jackson?
Damn. You just had to go there on me.
I mean, because
Oh
you play a
man.
little bit of everything, so I just want to know your opinion.
Uh, I'm damn. I don't even want to answer this shit, but
Yeah.
um, I think Bo Jackson was probably a better baseball player
Okay.
than you know what I'm saying. So, what I will say about all those sports, right? So between football, baseball, and basketball, I
Yeah.
will say that baseball is definitely the most technical sport of the three. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the thing about football and hoop is like you can be just stupid athletic and take a game over. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Versus baseball, you can't make as big of an impact with your athleticism as you can. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to have more, you have to have a higher skill set as it pertains to playing baseball at a high level. And
Right.
so as much as I love Dion, bro, like I'm a huge Dion fan, so that was hella hard for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I would definitely, I would say Bo Jackson probably.
Bo Jackson. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. It's no wrong answer. All right.
I
Say no
mean
more.
that's, but like if, like honestly, it's probably like 1A, 1B, and it's not far off. Like,
Okay. All right. Let me ask you this: you're the coach. Who's closing for you? Have you had all these pitchers? Everybody in their prime. It's up to you. Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, Koufax, Bob Gibson, um, Pedro Martinez, Mariano Rivera.
all right, so that one's easy, and just because you just said the word close, so it's Mariano all day.
Just period.
Um, just because, bro, like he throws the nastiest cut fastball like ever. I mean, it's those other guys are again fully capable of closing the game out, but that's all that dude did for years and did it at an extremely high level. Like, and the thing is as a hitter, you know it's coming, but you
Yeah.
still can't hit that shit. It doesn't matter. You know what I
Plain and
mean?
simple.
Like, he could tell you he's about to throw you that cutter, and you still not touching that shit.
Say no more.
Like, that's it. I
Proof of the
mean,
pudding. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. Last little question like this. Greatest outfielder to you. Willie Mays, uh, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, or Griffey, or Bonds.
I would say as an overall player, to be respectful to those other guys, I would say I didn't see Willie Mays or any of those guys play enough to be able to say I know they're great. I mean, I've
Right.
seen highlights and stuff, but bro, I grew up watching Ken Griffey Jr. Like, I mean, I that dude. I mean, every year when I would play baseball, those are the cleats I'm rocking. I'm rocking the Griffies all the time,
Period.
all day. You know what I
Period.
mean? Like the Nikes, the Griffey, like that's a no brainer.
Yeah. Period.
So for me, like I said, I don't know. I know those other guys are great, but that dude, we grew up watching him and A Rod on the Mariners, and he's a baller, bro. So I'll say Ken Griffey for sure.
Right. Who's on the mountain, man? Who's the best to you? Can I get can I get three of them? Who's on?
Man, that's hard.
I
Just
know
all around
just
or
all
hitting
around.
or
All just all around. Like where
I'm
you
gonna like
to
I'm
you.
probably gonna keep it more like our era because, like I said, I mean, I can name a bunch of those older guys, but
You
I didn't
didn't.
see enough of them
I
play
get
to
it.
be able to compare.
I
You know
get
what I
it.
mean? Like,
I get it.
I feel like that's not fair to them, and it's not fair to the guys that I watch play. So,
I get it.
um, for the guys of our era, I mean, I would definitely have to say Griffey is one for
Okay.
sure. I mean, that dude between his ability to hit, play defense, his arm,
Yeah.
run. I mean, straight 5 tool player. Like he does it all.
Yeah.
Um, I think that dude's still like a hitting coach or something for one of the baseball teams. Like it's ridiculous. Like that's how
Yes.
good he is.
Yeah.
Um, Alex Rodriguez, probably A Rod. I mean, that again, another guy that just we watched growing up and kind of does it all. Strong arm, really good defensively, hits the shit out of the ball, hits for power. Um, and then, like I said, as much as I hate saying it, I'll probably have to say Barry Bonds, man. Like the dude is maybe the best hitter to ever live. That's just what it is. Like I said, I fucking hate the Giants, but I'm
Yeah.
not a hater. I got to give credit where it's due. So
I
I'll probably,
respect it.
yeah, I'll take those three for sure. I don't think you can. It'd be hard for you to name a couple guys better than that. I think.
Okay. You're getting ready to go play a game. Who's Tracy's all time? What other eight guys are you taking with you?
Oh damn.
Any
Whew.
everybody, even if you never saw him play, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of history in Tracy, you know. In your opinion, who you taking? Of
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably gonna mess this up because I'm gonna forget some people for sure. But
course.
um, you got to start out. I mean, as you know, you got to start out with Ty Kelly right off the bat. I mean, the dude is in the major leagues. Like that kind of tells you everything you need to know. You know what I mean? He was our age, and I watched him and his dad practice daily. Like, so I got to say him for sure.
Okay.
Um, if I gotta, and I'm biased, so I'm gonna kind of bring some of my guys with
Of
me.
course.
So
Of course.
I'm gonna say I'll probably take James Villarreal for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I'll take John Valdez. Um, Definitely bring in Memo. I can tell
Okay.
you that for sure
Absolutely.
because that's my
Of
cleanup
course.
hitter for sure.
Of course.
Uh, Shit.
I need four more.
KJ.
KJ.
Technically he's from Tracy, so I'm
Of
taking
course.
him. With
Let's
us as
start hard
well.
with that for sure.
Yeah. Um, Definitely gonna need a catcher, so I'll bring Rob with us.
I need Big Rod.
Um, Damn, these last two are hard and shit. Just to add some pitching depth, I'll take Romeo and Matt Eichels.
Oh, I love it. I say no more. That's enough.
Yeah.
What advice would you tell yourself at 17, knowing the knowledge you have now? What would you go tell yourself going into your senior year about baseball?
How long you got, bro? No, I'm just playing. Um, to be honest with you, bro, like, right? Like,
Yeah.
damn, if I knew then what I know now,
Yeah.
oh man. Um, to be honest with you though, the first thing not tell myself, but the first thing I would have definitely did was I wouldn't have played three sports. I would have probably played two.
Okay.
I probably would have just played hoop and baseball because it's hard to play three sports at a high level. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I always kind of felt like I wasn't great at anything. I felt like I was good at a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And so I felt like if I would have really focused on the two sports, let's just say basketball and baseball, I don't think I ever would have been a great basketball player because I'm not the most athletic guy. But if I would have, put the time in, I definitely could have been better. But baseball, I definitely, if I would have really, really, really sold out and put the time in, I think I could have took that pretty far. But what I would definitely tell myself, and I think you could probably relate to this too. It's hard being a 17-year-old kid with, there's a lot of pressure on you. Um, I would say just don't take the shit too seriously. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. Like at the end of the day, like, when you
Yeah.
start trying to worry about all the different things and all the pressure and paying attention to all the noise, like the shit's just not fun anymore. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's kind of what happened to me on the baseball field. And that's why I stopped playing because the shit just wasn't fun for me anymore. It was like I had a bad experience my sophomore year when I got moved up to varsity, but it just wasn't fun anymore. So my advice to myself is, narrow down what you're doing, pick the sports that you want to play and you feel confident in. And, don't let the pressure get to you. And I would say the last thing is, if you really, really want to excel and play at the college level or keep going and doing those kinds of things, you got to get all the distractions out of the way and you just really got to focus, which I know is easier said than done. But I feel like if I would have pushed all the distractions to the side, whatever that was, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm not going to go into that. I mean, I don't have to tell you, you already
Of
know.
course. Of course.
But if I would just focus more, what I'm saying, like actually put the work in the weight room, just trying to get better. That's really what I would have spent my time on because there's plenty of time later on to do all that other stupid shit. So
I get
that's
it.
what I would say.
What advice would you tell a young kid that probably don't go to the D1 school, but he has to go to community college and he's still playing baseball? What advice would you tell him?
It's still in reach. You can still accomplish your goals. Just because you're at a junior college doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times now you see guys getting picked up from JC all the time, and so if you go there and do your thing and focus and like I said, just kind of eliminate the noise and don't worry about the fact that you're not playing at a big school, like none of that shit matters. Eventually if you just go out there and do your thing with the way technology is now and with the way relationships are built now, somebody's gonna see you and somebody's gonna pick you up. So definitely don't give up and just, keep doing your thing.
All right. Listen, my guy, about to be all out. We're about to be out of time. I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time out doing this interview, man. We're gonna have to catch you on the back end for the next two, man.
Yeah. Hell
Thank you,
yeah.
my guy. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, though. Seriously, Roy. I just wanted to give you your
Yeah,
flowers, bro. I had to. All
absolutely.
right, come on, man.
Thank you for having me, bro. You know, it's all love.
Oh, of
Anytime, man.
course. Say no more, brother. I'll let you know.
All right, bro.
All right, brother.
All right. Like
Peace. You ended, baby. Oh, shit.